Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sharp Edge News TV. I hope you guys are doing well. My name is Ola, and welcome back. Do us a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, and follow. We have a fantastic show lined up for you today. And without any further ado, welcome the editor-in-chief and publisher of SharpEdgeNews.com. Hi, Chief Oladimeji Abitogun. Welcome, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm well. It's good to be alive, and I thank you for bringing me back. And a huge shout out to all our viewers across the globe, wherever they may be. We do not take it for granted that they made that deliberate choice to be part of our world. That world where we share concise news, information, in-depth analysis, and straight to the point suggestions that are so constructive that we hope to shape the world to a more livable place for all of us. Again, I thank all of you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming. So we do have, first of all, how was your week? Let's start with that. How was your week?
Most wonderful, very eventful. And this last 1 week, you will not believe it. It's been so, let me just say, it's good to be alive.
Okay. That's good to know. All right. So today we definitely have a lineup of stories that we're going to talk about. But I wanted to know, I know you have some updates for us. We had tons of people commenting on the different segments that we had last week and things like that. But particularly, I know you have some updates for us with regards to the news from Aide Ogbese, and maybe some other things you want to bring us up to speed about. Go ahead.
Yeah, very briefly. We talk about the update from Aide Ogbese, and then I'll talk about life for Nigerian troops, especially the multi jurisdictional element minding Nigerian oil installations in the creek in Nigeria. So in Aide Ogbese, we are beginning to come into terms with the macabre orchestrations that were championed by elements which were operating as if they were the de facto authorities in our kingdom. But the constitution being the grand norm, and royal protocols and chieftaincy declarations on our royal stool is putting everybody back into line. What we find out is that actually the contentious issue of the whereabouts of the remains of our king who transited into the abode of the ancestors is being used to blackmail everybody and then as a pretext to seize the throne. And what we found out was that Olorunfunmi Oluyede had bragged to so many people that if I dared as much to come back to Nigeria at this time, that I will be dealt with. But I knew that she made moves that were extrajudicial and were not protected by every formal precept in the country to want to see that I was taken care of. And she sees herself as an untouchable Lagos celebrity lawyer, which is nonsense when you are coming to a kingdom that has existed for ages like Aide Ogbese. So I laughed when I heard about that. The Yorubas will say that you want to grab him, you want to tie him, you want to confine him. You're not talking of an animal like porcupine, MLB to record. And I said, at this time, I'm just busy with what I mean, with things that have been destined for me, and I have no time for low echoes, tantrums, or the shenanigans of somebody who is there. I mean, who is hell bent on extrajudicial killing to see me assassinated. It's not going to happen. And the
Jesus.
update today is that the man she has always used, that is the most senior kingmaker, that was compromised, that was bribed, that started behaving like a local despot and a tyrant who would dismiss suggestions from other members of the Royal Council, uh, has been placed on suspension by the Council of Chiefs, and that is the body that is recognized by uh, the chieftaincy laws of Ondo State to hold the 40, and that is the body that assists any king to make things run smoothly, and so they are back in charge. All of them were intimidated, harassed. All of us were intimidated and harassed at the time, but we are back and we are in charge. So uh, everybody has to fall in line, and everybody has to appear before that. The Council of Chiefs to give account of what has gone wrong, including a certain individual, the so-called prince, who calls himself the head of the security vigilante in the community, that is boasting that nothing can happen to him. We have him by the balls. Everything he has done, making money for himself instead of making sure revenue Ghana for the good of the community and the public in general. So he is put on notice, and we are working with law enforcement agencies at this time. And to conclude this aspect of this segment, what we know is that the Olori lately, this night in Nigeria, has come up with a court summons, having failed to coerce and compromise the noble Nigerian police force to do her bidding. Now she's using the same tactics with which she and other irresponsible Nigerian elites messed Nigerian system up, to use the judiciary through what Nigerians will call Jankara process. But we know the judiciary is able to prove itself worthy, and nobody. Yeah, this is matter of tradition, and you see all the cacophony all over Nigeria about royal rumbles, the way politicians are trying to use, to mess up royal institution to scare.
Use rulers,
Yes, to
traditional
stop.
rulers.
Yes, to score all kinds of cheap political goals. And in Aide Ogbese Kingdom, we are pushing back on that, and everybody is with us. So, what is suspended traditional prime minister, the later High Chief Femi Fajembimo? What he did was to mount the royal throne, which used to be used. Which was used the last time by the late Oba Ayodele Oluyede. He would sit on that, would prop Kunle Ade Oluyede to the right. One person that used to assist me, because that person is already reaching out to the Royal Council and letting them know that he is not part of the forgeries that have been fostered all along. That is why I said Macabak orchestration. They seized the remains of the late king, and then they proceeded from there to say that, they are in charge of everything in the community. In fact, where the community stands is that this Olori's daughter, who naturally should have become the regent, let me break that sad news to this Olori that is power conscious, that our daughter, the first daughter of the late king, is not going to become the regent, because we have seen the tendencies of this Olori, that if that daughter ascends the throne as the regent, if she goes forth, spending the time that the king-making process will start, this Olori is not going to allow her to function. She will play the Jezebel card and continue to terrorize and oppress
Wow.
and make people subservient in the community. There is no place for tyranny in Nigeria's democracy. There is no place for tyranny in Nigeria's royalty. In Yoruba land, it has always been a matter of checks and balances. Even before the Europeans came, it's always been a matter of separation of powers. If a king decides to go overboard and become tyrannical, he is humbled by the process of Ishiba. Open the calabash. He will commit suicide. He will be hurt to commit suicide, or he will be banished. And that is where this Olori, nobody is going to ask her to kill herself. Nobody's going, but she's not going to be given access to seize the throne any further. Further to that is the fact that tonight he executed a court summons on members of the royal family, Princess, because she is smart, not to want to include our Rivaje Yeoba, because she knows what is involved in that. She has accepted Princess Elizabeth Oluyede Bello, the head of the royal family. But tonight she slammed the summons on Princess Ruben Oluyede, Adetunji Oluyede, and Adegboyega Oluyede. So they are expected to appear in court tomorrow morning. But we are urging them, our organized effort, whether overseas or at home, the resistance is on. They would be disgraced in the law court. Aide Ogbese community stands firm, and we abhor every form of tyranny and oppression. That is that angle about the latest on the Royal Makaba situation in Aide Ogbese. Now to the Crete of Nigeria, where our gallant soldiers, troops, are complementing what is being done by the private security outfit owned by Tompolo government. You find out that some people in the hierarchy of the military in Nigeria, they are not living up to the standard that is expected of them. They are compromising and undercutting the situation. For example, the Ocean Marine Security, OMS, company that is owned by Olu of Warri, is contracted by the government of the Federation, well funded, to make sure that the troops are comfortable in protecting the pipelines and the oil wells in the Niger Delta. But in some situations where as much as 500,000 naira is voted for the upkeep of each soldier, they are not paid fully, and they are always shortchanged. These soldiers, gallant as they are exposed to the element hunger and outright neglect most times. We have interacted with many of them, and with all they do to make sure that the stakes are up in terms of Nigeria's crude oil output, to make sure that oil theft becomes a thing of the past. This soldier, this top military brass interplaying. The Olu of Warri may not know this, and I'm not going to spite or slight somebody whose intention I do not know. I don't want to slander anybody. But in this case, the soldiers are underpaid, they are abandoned, and there is this huge outcry. And we feel that on our part, as credible media, we should let the presidency of Nigeria know. We should let every Nigerian know that this is not fair. Our soldiers, wherever they go, anywhere in the world, for any country for that matter, they deserve the best. After all, you look at what Jesus said in the Bible. There is no better love than for a friend to lay his life down for another. These people are making sure that they protect the country, they protect the nation, and then what you give them back is less than dignifying. We shouldn't treat our troops like this. That said, we conclude this week's segment of our special.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. I think there's a question that I have with regards to the last topic you just covered. There's a statement in the media by a Dokubo, 99%. I don't know how credible it is, but it says, I'm pulling the statement from Vanguard, 99% of oil theft carried out by Army and Navy. And from what I'm gathering from what you just said, are they related in any way, and how is Dokubo related to
They
all
are
this?
related. In the past, it could be the situation. We do not know the source of or how much reliability we can place on what Dokubo has said in that. Is it Vanguard or Guardian? Vanguard.
In Vanguard,
Uh,
yes.
yeah, because Vanguard does a good job of giving copious coverage to issues of Niger Delta and environment. So we do not know the source of his opinion, but that was in the past. I've interacted lately with Nigeria's rank and file in the military, and what they told me is that it is now difficult because of the uh, plethora of coalition or yes, diverse military forces and uh, security outfits collaborating, drafted to make sure that things work out. That synergy seems to be paying off for Nigeria at the moment. In fact, at the time, Nigeria that was struggling to produce about 900,000 barrels of oil per day. At the time, in recent time, Nigeria made it to over 2 million barrels per day. So, that in itself, is worthy of commendation. However, Nigeria still has that major hurdle to cross to retain its place. As the hitherto leading oil producing country in Africa, Angola holds that record currently, and Nigeria has to up its state.
All right. Thank you so much for that clarification. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, follow, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Yes, check out this next segment. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. KANO Emirate clash. Bayero supporters protest. Protest amid Sanusi's meetings. Over the week, I think Sanusi was reinstated, but I'm just going to read this short report on the Punch News, and then I want to hear your take on this. I'm sure you've been paying attention to it over the weekend, and also it's kind of related to what you were saying earlier about using the traditional rulers, to continue to create division between the people. So, according to this reporters, supporters of the deposed emir of Kano, Aminu Ado Bayero, Sunday took to the streets of the city. That was last Sunday, calling for his reinstatement and demanding that Governor Abba Yusuf comply with a recent court order. As the situation in Kano remained fluid, the reinstated Emir Muhammadu Sanusi II stepped out of the main palace in the city to a warm reception from the people. Sanusi rode on a royal horse, and gesticulated at the crowd, who responded with, "You are the only emir we know." He also met with some district heads, council members, vigilantes, women groups, and well-wishers who were at the palace to pay homage. The development happened as a large group of young protesters marched through the streets of Kano and Gaya, expressing their discontent with the disposition of Bayero. Anyway, that's a short, quickly. These are the kind of drama that
Yes.
comes with this traditional rulership, and I think it's, yeah, I don't know. I think it's everywhere in Africa, but they seem to, like, in the Western world, they seem to have a clean process. At least they don't let us know. We know they have their own drama in the tabloids. We were just covering Prince Harry and the whole drama with them the other day, right? So they have their own drama, but in terms of the actual direct involvement of people who are actually occupying seats, So I wanted to hear your take on this. What's going on with this story? What can you teach us about this?
Well, number one, let me congratulate the reinstated Emir of Kano, Sanusi. At the time, he was the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. And he's coming on the throne 2 years back, towards the twilight of the administration of President Goodluck Jonathan. In itself had some political coloration. But let us also be mindful of the fact that the two individuals that have now become unfortunate pawns in the political chess game of the land, of the time in which Nigeria exists, are cousins. They both grew up.
They are cousins.
They are cousins. As a matter of fact, first cousins. It's almost like you and my son having some serious contestation. That is a Game of the Throne that is always that is almost a program to create what you call bad blood in the same family.
In the family. Wow.
Yeah, Sanusi and Bayero were both raised by the late Emir of Kano, Emir Bayero. Their great grandfather had been on that throne. So, if they are able to relate with each other, and don't forget that they are age mates. They are age mates. I think 62, 62. Now, beyond what politicians are trying to use them to do, and trying to get the poor people to kill themselves for the headaches of these two privileged individuals. If they can think and look beyond that, there will be peace in Kano. So let us go back to what issues were involved. When Gandoje came after Sanusi.
Sorry, before you continue, I just wanted to cross-check this one with you. According to Tribune Online, they're saying Lamido Sanusi and Aminu Ado Bayero, the deposed king, are cousins bound by a complex web of family ties. Aminu Bayero's sisters. So are they in-laws or they're actually cousins?
They are cousins.
By marriage, or they're actually cousins? That's what I'm checking.
Actual cousins. And if marriage has come along the line, for example, in some places, they will tell you a relationship that has gone beyond first, second, third generation. People can begin to intermarry. So,
okay,
so
check this out.
Has happened.
Oh, so maybe they intermarry. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying they are first cousins. But if over time too, because of the long, this is royal lineage. So if intermarriage has happened, maybe because that family has evolved beyond 3 generations, it will not be wrong to point out to the intricate.
Okay. So let me point this out.
Yes.
Let me point this out. This one is not that. They're saying Aminu Bayero's sister, the daughter of the former emir of Kano, Ado Bayero, is married to Lamido Sanusi, making them in-laws. Yes, this close-knit family is so they're still cousins in that way. But I'm asking, are they in-laws? Yeah. Okay.
I've told you, they are cousins, but because that lineage they shared a common patrimony in the fact of their great grandfather.
Great grandfather,
But
you did say that,
yes,
yeah.
but because I mean they have been around for generations. If marriages now happen,
Right,
that would not be strange.
right,
Of
right.
course, yes, whether in biblical times or
Mm-hmm.
Nigerian times, things like that could happen. What is forbidden is for a brother and a sister to marry. That would be incest.
Right, that's incest.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh. So
Natu is in the chat. Natu said, "Omo, this kind of issue was something else. They are cousins. Hausa people marry cousins too." There you go. So she's from
that's right.
Kaduna. So go
So
ahead, continue, sir.
thank you, thank you so much for that clarification. So it's not far from what we are saying. So what we're saying here is that when former Governor Gandoje, the one some people will call Gandola, uh, happened to be showing signs of what's it called? Uh, less dignifying conduct in office by way of accepting alleged acceptance of bribery from contractors and talking raw cash, dollars, in his Babanga pocket. You know, Lamido Sanusi did not hesitate to chide him. He also drew attention to the issues of out-of-school children, the glamorization of poverty up north, and he was supposed to be a conservative royal figure that should not talk, that should not um, uh, bring out all these social ills in the north, in the northern part of Nigeria. But he defied others, and in fact, there have been times some people say that the turban, covering the mouth, is supposed to be a symbolic gag that he should not talk much. But he was breaking that barrier and was talking a lot.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
Gandhi went after him. But Sanusi also had been weaponized against um, the government of Goodluck Jonathan. Remember, he was the one who said there was some deals in
It
which
was
close to
the
20.
whistle. It was almost like a whistleblower, something like that.
So, thank you very much.
Yeah.
So all these things interplayed in his past. So it became, and so when it becomes so vociferous and uncontrollably loud against the Buhari administration and that of Gandoje, what that government did was to show him the way out. The question, and then Ado Bayero was brought from one of the suburb emirates, and then they balkanized the emirate, something that had happened at another point in history before, during the Second Republic. They broke it into four emirates, and then they now said, this is under. You see, our time is up on this, but let
No,
me
go
also
ahead.
say this.
Go ahead. Finish
Yeah,
up. Finish up. Yeah.
yeah. So
You got 3 minutes.
I mean,
You got 3 minutes.
so what happened eventually was that this man was deposed at the peak of his reign as the emir of Kano. Sanusi was controlling a budget of 6 billion naira, almost. Meanwhile, whether in Aide Ogbese or Ilefe or you don't find any first-class king controlling that kind of budget anywhere.
Wait.
I challenge anybody. So you see,
What about Oluwo of Iwo?
Oluwo of Iwo, you need to listen to the man who made him, who brought him on the throne.
Don't mind me.
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
Abiola, the famous publisher of a now defunct Conscience International magazine, Abiola Ogundoyi, said that he was a broke ass. Before he got there, they started to ban himself as the emir of an emir king in Yoruba land. I mean, Oluwo's matter is for another
Emir
day.
of Iwo, and that's another day. Yeah, that's another day.
Yes, whatever he calls himself. Anyway, Oluwo's matter is like you install somebody as imam, and then he wants to be Sarki. He doesn't want to become king. You are a king in Yoruba land, and you said that you are attracted to the emir's toga.
Sounds like confusion without even knowing the full meaning of everything, but it sounds like
the
confusion.
confusion that has broken bone in the words of Fela and Nicola Kokuti. So we now go back to this matter. So he was deposed, and then they brought in Bayero. And Bayero, when the screening to originally filled the vacancy when his father, the late Emir Bayero, died, was a man who had the highest vote, the highest votes. So, but there was, there were riots and all this kind of skirmishes. At the end of the day, Sanusi was the one that was brought there. So, some poetic justice at this point. Do not forget, when people refer to the case of the Olowo of Owo, the late Olateru Olagbegi, his own journey was foretold. How he would get on the throne, would become reckless, would be exiled. Somebody in his past, a soothsayer, had predicted that. But let me also tell you what put Olateru Olagbegi in trouble, which is what we are warning some prince, some individual in Aide Ogbese against today. Olateru Olagbegi was collecting revenue. He was a tax collector. So he had stepped on so many toes, particularly Atusho. So when he got on the throne, and then he was working with Native Police Authority, somebody went to him to lie that, what's it called? An action group, faithful, had killed and buried somebody. And what was buried in that shallow grave that day was the skull of a monkey. And then, yes, an expeditionary force was sent to Osho. Unfortunately, there was that 1965 massacre. And I remember heroic Osho, sons and daughters in resistance, dragged Olateru Olagbegi before a commission of inquiry, and he was deposed on the strength of their evidence. So, everybody in KANO should tread with caution. This should not lead to bloodshed. These are two cousins. Let the royal house of KANO settle themselves first. Let the politicians understand what they are doing, and then let the common people understand that they cannot be used as cannon fodder. That said, I will allow things to play out. In the days ahead.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you so much for that. I learned quite a bit from that. Thank you so much. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, and follow. Yes, hit the like button, share, and follow. And not just that, leave your comments, leave your chat. Let us know what you're thinking.
Please, before you go, if anybody needs to confirm what I said about Olateru Olagbegi, they should pick the book written by the late Dr. Hamel Fagbulu, who was born in Owo, but an Ilesha man. The title of his personal memoir, published by Evans, is A Journey Foretold. That's what's there. Prince, a prince of Ado-Ekiti, who used to live in Aide Ogbese, also gave certain prophecies. In the case of Hamel Fagbulu, gave certain prophecies in the case of the late Canon Fagbulu, and so many other, and those things became very, very, they got actualized, So nobody should come around and say, oh, that is coming out of nowhere. I've just told you the truth of history. Thank you.
All right. Wait, thank you so much for that. Yes, check out this next segment. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Tinubu's year one, renewed hope met with praise and criticism. I'm going to read this short thing on, what is the name of this place? GazetteNigeria.com. Gazette with a T.
Oh, okay.
All right. So it says, mixed reaction have continued to trail President Bola Tinubu. Admirations, first anniversary with criticism and praise from various Nigerians. Mr. Tinubu was sworn in as Nigeria's 16th president on May 29th, 2023. Some residents of Okitipupa in Ondo State, who spoke with journalists on Monday, commended Mr. Tinubu for his effort at fixing the nation's economy. while others said he had failed Nigerians who had high expectations from him. While calling on Mr. Tinubu to search for competent hands, the respondents urged him to rejig his cabinet for optimal performance. Morenike Alaka, a former chairman of Okitipa local government, said Mr. Tinubu was not the genesis of Nigeria's current economy woes, saying it was an inherited problem. Ms. Alaka noted that it was impossible to fix the country's current situation. Alaka, okay. Ms. Alaka noted that it was impossible to fix the country's current situation without implementing some policies that would be unfavorable to Nigerians in the short term, but beneficial in the long term. And I quote, "We just need to cooperate and continue to pray for this government, and I can assure you that what we are facing right now are just measures that are hard now but will benefit us in the long run," she said. Niyi Adesokan, chairman of the Nigeria Union of Local Government Employees, Okizwa Local Government Chapter, also said Mr. Tinubu was only trying to fix the economy, adding that most of the problems being experienced are only teething problems, which shall fade out very soon. He added that the immediate past government destroyed so many things, especially by borrowing, which is literally having negative effects on the country and our currency. On the issue of local government autonomy, Mr. Tinubu has shown commitment to putting this in place in every local government to ensure development at the grassroots level. Once the autonomy is given, you will see vast development from the grassroots, he said. However, Dipo Akomolafe, a former chairman of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, at the Olusegun Agagu University of Science and Technology, Okitipa said, the first year of Tinubu's administration has been a challenging one for individuals and the nation at large. Mr. Akomolafe, who noted that the education sector was also adversely affected, said the health and welfare of staff of tertiary institutions stagnated due to inadequate budgetary allocations, which, according to him, is hampering them from performing their core research roles. Larry Ogumusire, a PDP stalwart, described Mr. Tinubu's one-year administration as challenging and noted that his economic policies cost Nigerians more pain. He added that the power and the defense sectors were badly hit, as many Nigerians have not been enjoying 8 hours of electricity in the last year, while many can no longer sleep with their two eyes closed. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. See,
yeah.
It's so easy to say that the Potpari tapestry of respondents to, people whose opinion were collated for this report.
Mm-hmm.
Some PR stunts there, depending on your political leaning. But what I would say,
right, you smell you smell just biases, right? You don't feel like you were being objective. Okay.
Yes, not objective, and that is expected. Right. But this is what I would say, because even those of us who live in the diaspora as Nigerians, we also are feeling the bite of whatever is going on at home. You check your pockets, how much have you had to send to folks back home in order to make sure that those of us overseas, send more to our relations. In terms, when the government of Nigeria talks of palliative, I laugh. This is what we give to support various extended family members. That said, you see, when Tinubu was talking in Lagos and said this is the time for him to brag, I shuddered within me and I said, well, he could brag, but can Nigerians really brag? Because that day, when he was being sworn on oath, sworn into office, and he said Subsidy is gone. I've said repeatedly. For me, that in itself was not well thought out. And it was almost like you putting a leader in charge of the nuclear capacities of the country. Have you checked that person's state of mind? Have you checked if this person is capable of carrying out some dispassionate and critical thinking? So what for me happened when Tinubu said that without working out the details and the fundamentals of the Nigerian the economy, the implications, the blowback possibilities. What happened for me was that Tinubu triggered the equivalent of the nuclear button. And since then, Nigerians have been trying to wriggle out of the situation. I mean, the country is in a pickle. So for him to come on the stage and for some of his acolytes and apologists, ideologues, to come to bamboozle us with rationalization. What I would say, and I don't want to dissipate too much energy on this subject, is that you should ask the individual Nigerian, the individual Nigerian, whether home or abroad, if they think their lot is better off since Tinubu got there. It's not for Tinubu, it's not for you and I to want to stampede anybody into how we feel about the last 1 year in Nigeria. But take this question to town. A kind of vox pop. Ask the average person, do you feel better under Tinubu in the last 1 year? That is what I would say. Because, yes, it's almost like the lines of that poem saying we have heard of certain deaths. But this one is different. Certain deaths. This one is different. He compares it, although Tinubu is not a woman, but objectifying womanhood the way he has always done. Oh, this is like the pain of childbirth. What does he know about childbirth? Is he a woman? Yeah, it's indescribable. Let a woman talk about that. And I've listened to some women. This one is even
Did you say childbirth? Did you say he compared to childbirth?
Yes, depends on childbirth. Yes,
Wow.
childbirth. There will be blood. There will be pains. There will be howlings. There will be all kinds of stuff.
But you get bundles later on.
Yes, but in this case, who knows if this is going to? I mean,
that's a terrible analogy. That's a terrible analogy. It was bad and insensitive.
That is what he has always done, and nobody has held him to account. Are you a woman? Can you take your mouth out of a woman's thing? Let women tell us what that looks like. You and I cannot honestly say this is what it feels to carry that pregnancy and then see that baby, that bundle of joy come through the birth canal. And then you want to amplify the troubles of reforms and things that have not necessarily led to anything. Years back, I was interviewing a colleague from Brazil concerning the debt, the debt path that Brazil was dropping itself in at a point. If it would ever be paid, the man told me, honestly, he didn't think IMF or World Bank meant well for developing countries. But these are the people who are, all these Bretton Woods institutions recommending all kinds of debt pills that they call reform pills for African nations, particularly Nigeria. And we find ourselves where we are. Good luck to us if we are able to come out of this. If it works well, after all, that is the world of economics. You never can be too sure of anything. All things being equal, if it works out for us, we will congratulate Tinubu. If it does not, history will not forgive him. So it is too early on Creation Day It is money yet on Creation Day for him to pick the drums and begin to have his victory lap.
I have two questions for you.
Nobody, yes, sir.
Is that do you think that's just a political power play move when he's talking about?
Yes, it's just political speak. But politicians, even when they are going down, they tell you they are standing firm.
Okay. Then the second question I have for you is you said you should ask people how they feel. Which one do you think is better? Ask them how they feel or how they are doing?
The two.
The both.
The two.
Okay.
Both.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right.
But
thank you so much.
Nigerians are saying the experience has been very, very tough.
On an average,
and they don't see.
I mean, that's obvious with the.
They don't see any end to this yet.
Yeah. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, follow. Let us know your opinions about this. How do you think Tinubu has done in 1 year, in your opinion? It's not. I promise, it's not a rhetorical question. I want to know. Put it in the comment. Put it in the comments. I want to know because you never can tell. After all, Nigerians voted him into the office. So
no. I mean that is another issue entirely.
Wait. We're not going to the stolen mandate.
No, please. Okay, 230 million Nigerians.
Okay.
Less than 30 million of them voted, and Tinubu garnered about 36% of those votes. Look at the margin. So he should even be talking of government of national unity like Obasanjo did. Unfortunately, hasn't done that and is having this victory lap. I do not understand the man. He likes propaganda, and that cannot help him.
Okay. All right. Hit the like button, share, subscribe. I don't see the likes. I'm monitoring it. Please help us hit the like button, share, subscribe, follow, and comment. And check out this next segment. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Let's watch this short video.
The Libertarian Party should nominate Trump for President of the United States. Whoa. That's nice. That's nice. Only if you want to win. Only if you want to win. Maybe you don't want to win.
Whether or not Trump converted anyone at the convention on Saturday is unclear, but his campaign is hopeful that the outreach will help him win over some hearts and minds across the country, especially from some of these people who are considering third-party candidates. They are especially concerned about Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
I want to hear that
the
again.
Libertarian Party should nominate Trump for President of the United States. Whoa.
You see me?
That's nice.
There are something in them. There are something in them. He said, no.
All right.
Only if you want to win.
Only if you want to win. What's your take on this? Who's the Libertarian? Who are these people? And why are they booing Trump?
Libertarians are some splinter group within the Republican Party. And you also find some of them in the Democratic Party. What they want is lean government. And they just don't want government being intrusive. Blah, blah, blah. They just want you to take charge of your destiny and small government. They don't want government taking over everybody's life. I mean, and they believe in civil rights. So that said, I don't think Donald Trump believes in any of those things. You look at, people who are forgotten easily. You look at the way Donald Trump ramped up debt. For the country when he took charge. You will be amazed. You saw the way he was trampling on individuals' rights when he was in charge, the way he also tried to devalue every genuine protestation by whether minority individuals, groups, and what have you, and how he encouraged the violation of individual liberties in the name of promoting strong policing. And of course, he does not even believe in that policing because You look at the way the way he has broken the laws in this country in succession. You will understand that this person does not have the body language of a disciplined leader and is capable of ever being there. So when he appeared at their convention this last Saturday, and then they stormed him down on getting him voted, you understand that everybody is beginning to wake up to the reality of having this despot, this tyrant, authoritarian wannabe individual in the highest office in the land. So it's a serious pushback from libertarians who should know better than any political prayer group in the country.
Yeah. Yeah. So
and going forward, from tomorrow, from Tuesday, you're going to see the defense having a summation before the jury and the judge in the money payment to
the hush money.
Yes, all kinds of characters from tomorrow, and after their own submission, the prosecution would also lay its conclusion before the August court, and then jury deliberation will take place. So the people can, whether the court takes him down or not, this would also help the people in making a wise choice. In terms of who delivers electoral victory and the ultimate verdict on Donald Trump. Do not forget he has gone down elsewhere with his 2 adult children in what you would call the business death penalty that this country has ever witnessed. Business death penalty. He cannot do business anymore in New York. He cannot approach banks for loan. Lean now on his church properties, including Mar-a-Lago. You know, because he is always he's always blazing out of proportion. And that is what you saw him demonstrating before the libertarians. Say, you know, I'm the one that can. No, you are not the one that can do it, because he looks at this from social political lens. That is different from the one that you and I use. You see, so this is the guy. I think he is finding himself in uncharted territory, and for the long, not even the you see, not even Fred Ajudra in Nigeria, not Hush Poppy, not Maurice Ibekwe.
So it's not going to find it as easy as
the worst fraudsters, the worst 419ers that Nigeria has ever known. They cannot even. They are incomparable with Donald Trump. These are the individuals all over the world that continue to inspire all the kinds of the different spins on fraud that you see everywhere. He is not a good example to anybody. I don't know why anybody would want to waste his or her vote on him anyway. So.
All right. We're listening to them. We want them to tell us why they want to waste their vote on Trump in the comment. Speaking of comments, right? If you remember, we did a segment last week on who's worse, P. Diddy or Donald Trump, right?
Oh yeah, Puff Daddy and Donald Trump.
Right, Puff Daddy. And there were a few comments that came in. I want to read them to you real quick. And
please, before you go into the reading of that comment, let me make this clarification.
Sure.
Yes, let me put this caveat in thought. We are not endorsing domestic violence. It cannot be just domestic violence and battery is not justifiable against anybody. Nobody should perpetrate that against any woman, not even against a man or a child
or children.
So that is not the basis of our comparison. The comparison is in the way. I mean, who comes out
the apology.
to apologize? Yes, because Donald Trump would stand before the entire world and say that, he has never had cause to apologize to God, to ask for forgiveness of that. Not with all that has been lined against him, more than 100 charges, violations, crimes. He says What have I ever done? What have I ever done?
What did I
If you
do?
never ever do anything wrong, that is Donald Trump for you.
Right.
You know. So that's so just that our audience together.
No problem. So we had a few comments on that video. We have about 12 comments on that video. So please keep leaving the comments. We might just read your comments. Somebody said that's a bad comparison, but the answer is Diddler, obviously. Okay. So and then somebody said God bless Trump. And then by the way, somebody said
Trump would like to bless God too.
All right. Now somebody said question is Biden and Diddy, who's worse? So they have you reframe the question.
No. It cannot be Biden. Of course, Biden doesn't go to that territory, so it will be Diddy.
Yeah. Then somebody said somebody's answer is Joe Biden. So that's another one.
That's the wrong answer.
Somebody said cancel Diddy. Then another said Diddy, no question. All right. So it's interesting. I think people did not. I think it's interesting that you nailed it with what you just had it today. People are hearing the comparison on the basis of battery. They didn't hear the rest of it. They just heard how egregious the claim against Diddy last week was, and that's what they were responding to. It seems, but you've corrected that. It was based off of the apology.
Putting it in the proper context.
Yes. All right, thank you so much. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, follow, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Leave us your comments, please. We like reading it, okay? And check out this next segment. We'll be right back. Welcome. Check this out.
Nobel laureate WOLE Soyinka has yet again questioned the leadership potential of Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi, stating in a recent interview that he is unfit to govern Nigeria. Soyinka cited the conduct of his supporters, known as the Obedience, during the 2023 election campaign as a disqualifying factor. Let's take a look.
I hope for the sake of the nation that he doesn't express interest in the next election. Because for me as a leader, if there was any proof that he was unfit to lead that country, it's in the conduct which he encouraged among his followers. I know for a fact, and I can give you an instance which proved that he was in control of those forces, simply because when he first came to visit me, I remember the moment when he took out his
his phone.
After he made a statement like, "Oh, don't worry, everything, will be taken care of. You don't have anything to worry about these people." He was talking about the quote-unquote obedience. I remember he took out his computer, his phone, and he tapped, a message, there, and he shot me. I was watching him. It was any sort of thing. And after that, everything seemed to be, to be nice and cozy.
Let me show you how we do stuff around here.
All right, hold on one second.
My department uses Monday.com, so
let me turn
I'm
that
good.
off.
Work management tool?
Interesting.
No, that's not for me. Well, Monday.com.
All right.
So I'm sure you followed that throughout the course of the week.
Yes, interestingly, yes, I followed it, and I'm tempted to want to join the crowd that is questioning the objectivity of Professor Wole Soyinka. But do not forget that I've always seen Professor Wole Soyinka as an iconic, super brilliant Nigerian, if not human species. That said, sometimes his reluctance to, because you look at this, he's not castigating Peter Obi now. It's not saying Peter Obi cannot lead Nigeria in the future because of Peter Obi's personal feelings, but that Peter Obi is not able, or that he is the one encouraging what his
The
political
obedience.
apostles often take out on people. So with Soyinka, I've loved to be blamed personally for what some of his admirers, maybe you and I don't know if you admire him. To some extent, I admire him. The only one I do not admire, I will tell you. But his political activism, his literary prodigy, I love. But there are things I do not like about him. So if I begin to act on the basis of what he inspired in me, would Soyinka have loved to be castigated for that? You see, 1998 or 1990, thereabouts, when Nigeria was just returning to democratic governance, the very first time Wole Soyinka came to Nigeria, he addressed some of us journalists at the banquet hall, Ladi Kwali banquet hall of the Sheraton Hotels and Towers, Zone 4, Abuja. And I remember I asked him, when I first saw him, he was strolling in alone, and I was struck by his simplicity and humility. And I greeted him. He answered me in Yoruba. I said, "Good morning, sir." He answered me, I greeted him in Yoruba. I said, "Eka Rosa." He answered me in Yoruba. I said, "Chala Afiani." And that struck something in me that, our revered Nobel laureate did not try to play the ostrich, reply me in Queen's English. That is his trademark.
Right.
That robust, flawless English. You can't take that from Wole Soyinka. Even now that he's turning 90, he still retains that.
Yeah.
So what I asked him at that forum, when eventually he met us, was, how did he feel about all those things that were written about him, especially trying to use the characters of his work in Lion and the Jewel, how Conscience International, which used to be published by Abiola Ogundokun, how they use that to interpret it to the world. Wole Soyinka merely assured me and calmed the curiosity in me, not just as a young admirer, but also as a news reporter that, that would be taken care of. He knew that was a slander and all that. So, using the same background and comparison, the same standard, Soyinka never loved to be compared with characters in his fictitious plays. Why would he want to subject Peter Obi to that standard that, the amorphous, the sometimes amorphous crowd constituting Peter Obi, that movement, phenomenal movement, to be the standard for which he would give that magisterial pronouncement with almost some tone of finality that Obi is never fit to be president of Nigeria. That is not right. And I've not even, because he said, he often waits until the first year of any administration before he could make critical appraisal. Remember, it was at a colloquium to mark one of his best days that I attended at a museum center in Lagos in the past, where Tinubu answered my question on bankrolling democratic governance, whatever, especially that of Arthur John Mills in Ghana, where checked. I'm still waiting for Soyinka. Now it's getting to a year. I want his critical appraisal of Bola Tinubu's administration, 1 year in government. The way he's quick to castigate this OB I hope he will be so guarded too in making pronouncements on the bad pains and pangs of Tinubu's first year in government. Finally, on this subject, you know, Wole Soyinka and the late Chinua Achebe is a friend and contemporary. Had this issue when Soyinka was made Nobel laureate, and people and Achebe lowering his guard said, "Oh, thank God, it's not been made the Asiwaju or Ogbese of African literature," and everybody thought Achebe was being jealous and petty. Now, Soyinka was recapturing moments where he would want to cook some preferred piece of meat, and the people will caution Achebe not to eat with him and all that, and then all this suspicion. Soyinka should be more should be more cautious of what he says, so that as an iconic Nigerian and African figure, global figure indeed, if he doesn't want to be reduced in stature, the way we respect him, because this is the same Soyinka who lambasted Alex Akinyele in those days has been on drug, the Oju Orolari drug. I do not want Soyinka to do things that would diminish the kind of respect we have for him. He's our towering figure. He's a major brand for all of us. And in this twilight of his life, he should learn to stay away from the troubled waters of politics and its untoward commentaries. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that. Now, I have a question, or maybe a comment, maybe you can add on to it. Even the way he described, he just, watching that clip, I was just reminded that, oh, Baba is getting old. That's just what I felt for the most, in terms of the vibe, the energy I got out of the video. Even when he was trying to reference the phone, the smartphone in the hands of Peter Obi, he was trying to say he was doing something on the phone or sending a message or something like that. Even when he was describing, I was like, okay, Baba is, I'm not sure he fully understands the context of what he was talking about.
Yes, of course, when you look at Soyinka, he also complains about the social media thing. But this is the same Wole Soyinka who used guerrilla theater form to question and parody irresponsible governance and leadership all over Africa, particularly in Nigeria. He is the master of that. That was a form of social media construct.
That's what is technology.
This time, it's taken to, it's become technology driven. He used the theater to do that.
Yeah.
Yes. The theater was his own social media platform. So for him to suddenly begin to question what the people of this generation, of course, you have mentioned it. This is our own lion. He's getting old.
He's getting old. He's like, oh, Baba he's out of touch.
He and Fela Anikulapo, he's not out of touch. I think he's becoming, he's finally telling on him. He and Fela Anikulapo Kuti has been a major inspiration for what Nigerian youth are doing on the social media.
On social media,
so,
right.
Yes. Right. And to that extent, we can forgive him. And when you're an elder, there is a way you use it to lord it over younger ones. Just as Soyinka never had that spirit. And at this point in time, we would say that the respect should be mutual. Yeah, the respect has to be mutual. We will respect his old age. We will respect his achievement. He also has to respect what we want.
These young people know what they're doing.
Yes, he was the one who spoke of the wasted generation. And he should understand that this generation would not want to be wasted.
All right. Yeah, thank you so much. I think we did another one in the bag. Thank you, everybody. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, follow, leave your comments. Okay. It's helping us. It goes a long way. It's encouraging to see when the numbers are showing. This last week was fantastic in terms of numbers, and it's all because of you. So thank you so much. Any last words for them, sir?
Well, our gratitude, our thanks, immense appreciation for always being there with us and assisting us to grow this enterprise. Yeah, like I said, we do not take you for granted. Thank you indeed. See you next time.
Peace.